Welcome to part 2 of our Thanksgiving football preview. Marc Narducci and Phil Anastasia in South Jersey football. Phil, we go down to the old Cape Atlantic League. Holy Spirit at Atlantic City. Spirit 8-2, and again coming off a tough loss to Mater Dei.
Yeah, boy, they're going to haunt them in their dreams. The last 2 years, the way they've lost to Mater Dei. But the great thing about this Thanksgiving game for them is they got a chance to sort of kind of flush that and go up against, their longtime rival in Atlantic City. Really one of the better public, non-public rivalries in all of South Jersey. Always a great game. And Atlantic City's had a real nice year. Just missed the South Jersey 5 playoffs. So they got a chance to finish strong. Spirit's got a chance to finish strong. A lot of history here, a lot of tradition. I think this has really got a chance to be a really good game.
Speaking of a lot of history and a lot of tradition, how about the 146th annual edition of Vineland Millville? And Phil, what makes this game interesting, Millville looked like it had RV on the ropes, and then RV came back and won. So now this game takes on, I think, more importance because it's a final game for both teams.
It is the final game for both teams, and really it's going to be a test of which team can kind of bounce back best from disappointment. Vineland has, lost their last two, bounced in the first round of the playoffs from Lenape, so they've been kind of sitting there waiting for this game. And Millville, like you said, disappointing loss to RV in the semifinals. Which team can kind of turn it around and really play hard and play their best on Thanksgiving Day? But I tell you what, if you're from Vineland and you're looking across the field and seeing Millville, or you're from Millville and you're looking across the field and seeing Vineland, I don't think motivation is going to be a problem. So I think this has got a chance to be a real good game. And like you said, 146 meeting mark. I'm not so sure there's been many times when both teams have been this good. So that adds a little bit to this rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another game, and probably in the beginning of the season you would have said Woodbury, Gateway, but look, these two teams were both playoff teams, and Gateway made it to the semifinals.
Similar kind of situation here. Which team can bounce back?
Yeah.
Woodbury lost in the first round. Gateway lost in the semifinals. Disappointing loss to Pensgrove, but what a year they've had.
Yeah.
One thing Gateway hasn't done in a long time, 10 years, is beaten Woodbury. And here's their opportunity, because I think this is a chance to be a really good game. Both teams coming in with good records. A lot on the line here. These kids know each other. Schools are adjacent pretty much. So this has got a chance to be a good one and a real opportunity, I think, for Gateway, to kind of get that monkey off their back and losing 10 years in a row to Woodbury.
Yeah. And one of the great rivalries in all of South Jersey, Woodrow, Wilson, and Camden. And again, this one started, I believe, in 1933. Wilson is heading to the Group 3 final. Camden kind of licking its wounds after a playoff loss. So I think both teams are going to be on all cylinders.
There's no question. And again, it's like Millville and Vineland. You look across the field and you're seeing Camden, you're seeing Wilson, you're playing hard. And I'll tell you what, Mark, this is a great rivalry. Great battle of the bands at halftime. A lot of old timers come out for this game. And I don't remember, there haven't been many times when both teams have been this competitive. 7-2 Camden, 8-2 Wilson. That doesn't happen very often. So this has got a chance to be a special one. And like you said, for Wilson, it's, take care of business and then move on to Delsea, because I think if you're a Wilson Tiger, you're thinking about beating Camden.
Yeah, no question about it. And finally on Saturday, 11 o'clock game, West Deptford at Paulsboro. Both teams 9-1. Both teams headed to the sectional final. Phil, we've heard this story before.
Yeah, this has happened before. And in terms of just records, this is the best game of the weekend. Two 9-1 teams. And again, the tricky thing about this game is, how hard do you play? How many guys do you play? Who do you rest? And what adds to that for this matchup is it's Saturday. Yeah. It's close to the next, the next round. So, but I tell you what, this has happened before. These teams are bitter rivals.
Yeah.
These towns are bitter rivals. And I don't think there's any question that Paulsboro's playing to win and West Deptford's playing to win. So this has got a chance to be a really good one. I don't think either of them are thinking about the next weekend. I think Paulsboro's thinking about beating West Deptford, and West Deptford's thinking about beating Paulsboro.
No question. A great schedule. One little program note, we'll have a lot of coverage. We hope you check the Inquirer on Friday. And also, Phil has previewed every single Thanksgiving game. You may want to check that out as well at philly.com/sports. So for Phil Anastasia, Marc Narducci, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll see you next week.